She drives her car fast, she knows she won't crash. She drives her car fast because she's smoking a high. She drives her car fast, she knows she won't crash. She drives her car fast. Right there. She got a tattoo that she won't show you. She got a tattoo because she's smoking hot. She got a tattoo that she won't show you. She's got a tattoo because she's smoking hot. Got one. She lets her hair down. She lets it all down. She lets her hair down because she's smoking hot. She lets her hair down. She lets it all down. She lets her hair down because she's smoking hot. Double time. Come on, double time.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming back to the last week on One Whole Earth Game on Spaceship Earth. And this is Spaceship One Whole Earth. You're at 13.011, 15.12. That means we're going around. We're on a different calendar. The 13 calendar is the Mayan calendar, which is to some degree more accurate because it's based on a 360-degree cycle with an extra 5 days thrown in for measure because there's a wobble, and knowing that is pretty amazing. So we're going from a let's see, it's going to be all or nothing. It's a speed race. We're going to have a debate coming up with Kamala and the dude. And that's going to be interesting because I just can't imagine what's going to happen. Somehow I think it's a mistake to do this because the more that Trump continues to go on about himself, then the more he looks just more childish and more completely incredulous. And but what's going to happen on that debate is Kamala's going to wipe the floor with him. It's going to be ugly. Now, historically speaking, this is where it gets really exciting. This is where I get, because now, after talking with you, young lady, so Renee, get in here.
Here I am.
Don't be sitting in the back of the class. I'm not going to have it. I need my best student right there, front class. So what do you know about world history?
Well, I think I'm a pretty good student of world history. But I'm always learning. So
okay, so what's your favorite part of world history?
Oh gosh.
Your favorite thing to talk about?
I love ancient civilizations.
Okay.
I love migration history. I love
Okay.
American history.
Okay.
I love the interconnectedness of all human beings, like different trades, spice trades, and how humans have always been so diverse,
That's
long before these concepts of, They say we're in a global society. Well, we were always in a global society. People were always finding a way. The Polynesians, they got into canoes, not knowing where they would end up, and just set forth to the winds. Can you believe that chutzpah? That is so enchanting to me. I love it.
Well,
I love
and
it.
that goes along with the understanding that this world was absolutely conquered by human beings way before anybody knew that that was. If
Thank
there was a
you.
coastline, there was a person there. See now, but let's bring it back to where we are now. Let's bring it back to where we are now. Again, mostly the point was that Kamala Harris is a student who got good grades and achieved amazing academic. I mean, anybody who can get through it, okay, C's get degrees, but that doesn't mean you know your thing, okay? You got to be able to really go after it now. And then she took the hard cases. She didn't go for the lucrative job. She went to the district attorney jobs. That's always service,
Yeah, she was representing the people all of that time. So a prosecutor is somebody who actually stands in for the citizens of their jurisdiction. So
Okay,
she is
so
the
I mean,
mouthpiece of
right.
that.
And
Yeah.
she has cross-examined some fucking pretty low scum people, I'm guessing. Anyway.
Well, yeah, she's down and dirty. This is criminal.
You know what
people
her
who are criminal.
prosecution rate is? Do you know what her win rate was?
No, I don't.
I wonder. That's not come up, but
I don't
doesn't
really, I don't
matter.
really know, but I know that she was considered somebody who got her man.
I mean, you don't get to be Attorney General of California, state of California, the largest economy in the world.
Right. Huge economy, agricultural economy, film
I was thinking
economy,
about
all kinds of.
I was thinking if we seceded, we'd want Oregon and Washington, and we'd want Nevada. We'd take Nevada.
Yeah, not Arizona. Not Arizona.
Well, Arizona, is up for grabs, but I love Arizona. Arizona's great. Utah too. I mean, Utah, the whole western state. I mean, we're way more aligned. I mean, everybody. So, the law of the Hermetic principles require that we are, in this together as a one unit. There's just one of us. So, as a group, as a planet, as a unit, that's the way we are. So now, moving forward, we have to imagine this whole thing as a blue tsunami. Otherwise, it's not going to work. We have to really come in through and then be able to come back out. And then what's happening, though, historically, is we're moving from the paternal to the maternal again, the patriarchal to the matriarchal, and it's happening right in front of us. And that is absolutely miraculous. If we can make this happen before the next cataclysm, then we're going to be a lot better off for the experience. You see, it's all inclusive. That's why. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, all inclusive, absolutely.
So now, okay, I've been a generalist in history for many years too. But this line, I have to give props to Casagrande, Professor Casagrande from the Austin School, who has been really we've gotten on his podcast, and I want to give him as much credit as credit due. Is there a way that we can get with him on the show and get him on the program? If is he still alive?
Yeah, we got to ask him. I'm looking him up right now. Are you talking about Roy?
Roy Casagrande.
Roy Casagrande, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's the guy. He's the storyteller of everything history that is pertinent, and I agree with him on every level. I mean, his take. Okay, his take on Napoleon, his take on Victoria, his take on the Aztecs, his take on the understanding, the detail that he understands, the intricacies of the interplay of native folks to not only Spain but entire European continent.
Mm-hmm.
Now that had been brought to my mind again through Amy Goodman, who brought us The Dawn of Everything with another author I can't remember right offhand, but he talks about the same type of thing, that the folks in North America were way further along spiritually than were ever given credit. And we were talking in the last episode about Washington and the 33-degree masonry, right? So 33 degree means simply that you have a full vertebrae. Everyone has one. See?
Right.
Roy Casagrande, but that's a picture of him as a teen. He's like older than me now, or is my age or something. I mean, he's a lot older. But the brief history of Western civilization is fantastic. Genocide and A Dream of Iraq is interesting, weird. Okay, that's kind of weird. There's one that he does on DNA that's really fascinating. His talk on DNA is fascinating. So,
What does
I
he
was
say about Napoleon? Because I've been to Napoleon's tomb in Paris, which is an interesting thing, and we love to study
see,
Napoleon.
that's
He's very
funny because
modern.
the brief history of Western civilization kind of does that. But if you go to his talk on World War II, it starts at World War One, and it
Okay.
starts at Napoleon, which starts at.
Okay.
I mean, he keeps going back and back, and making sure you're catching up, and
Right.
understanding, and then, and then everyone's a Nazi. Like he's, that's funny. Like, Ford was a Nazi. Ford, that Hitler had he had a portrait. It was a life-size portrait behind his desk, and the portrait was Henry Ford.
Really? Are you
Yes,
serious?
I'm
Wow.
totally dead serious.
That's weird. Wow. Okay. If Henry Ford is the one who said
Ford
you
was
can have any
given
color.
he was given a Hitler Medal of Honor
Wow.
for
Now,
being such a great Nazi.
now Henry Ford is the one who said you can have any color car you want so long as it's black.
No, that was
That him?
Graham Bell. That was the phone. But
The only phone you can have is black. But it's a
I
okay.
don't know. I heard that. Okay, that is an urban kind of myth.
That's where
Okay,
Google
legend.
comes in,
It
and you go
comes
to
around. Like, I don't know
Snopes.com.
what they were talking in northern New York, but in southern New York they were talking about.
But I want to go back to Napoleon for a minute because you said you agree with the professor on his take on Napoleon. I was wondering what his take was.
Well, it's a love-hate relationship between Napoleon. You have to love and hate him. He's brilliant. He's
Right,
an
right.
absolute brilliant strategist and brings everybody together and does a thing and so forth. And it's really just, but 17 years of terror, and he wreaked havoc on Europe. And so that's not anything, to be, depends on what side of the word on the thing you were on. Now he just scrambled the whole board, okay, which coalesced what we have now. It started the nationalist. That's his other talk about nationalism. So once we get into a nationalist thing, we are really into a bind. And he was the talk about nationalism is exactly what we are facing now with this ridiculous Trump thing. Is they're hitting the nationalist drum, and we're not going for it, man. Being nationalist is not happening. So it doesn't serve anybody larger than, because when you go nationalist, you have to go other, and when you go other, you have to go kill them because they're just below you. They don't belong on earth anymore. Now you can do genocide to them. You can do anything you want with. When you other a person, you can have full reign to just continue on with what we're doing in Gaza and all this shit. It's all related. Everything's related. And we have to know that the alternative is this story that comes to us from the Iroquois, where this consciousness comes forward to unite the tribes. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
You know that story?
About the 5 nations?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the five nations came together. They didn't want to be at war anymore. They didn't agree in competition. The indigenous peoples of America didn't have the same materialistic possession ownership mindset of the relationship between man and the earth. So they
Mm.
wanted to be able to be in concert with one another, and they felt that a rising tide would lift all ships. So they came together as different nations and said, we're going to have these peace agreements
Is that
where
right?
we're,
Did you?
yeah,
Is that
that's what I mean, I was raised here. That's what we were taught anyways. That's what we were taught.
really?
That's what we
That's
were taught.
right. Okay, so even that is absolutely right. Now, when did it slip back to a matriarchal society, though?
I don't know that. I don't know.
All right. You know when it happened?
When?
When, okay, there was 5 tribes, but there's always a 6th tribe, and the 6th tribe was not. It was like the ogres in the swamp, and they would
Mhm.
not capitulate to this idea of peace. So they sent the women in, and they were able to bring him around. And then they stopped fighting, and then the women took charge again and were able to create a place of plenty. And this is what's happening right now in front of our eyes. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can. Absolutely.
The women had to do it. Now, the women had the power first. This is the thing that we talk about again through Roy Casagrande and Professor Roy Casagrande, as he discusses the moment by which, okay, hunter-gatherer societies are generally matriarchal societies. Are you with me?
I'm here.
Are you feeling the groove?
I'm feeling the burn, man. I'm
Are
feeling the
you in the
burn.
are you in the thing? Why?
Yeah, keep
Because
going.
the
Keep going.
mother and the sister and the thing, you have to protect the women to protect the children to get the thing, because we are this weirdest type of species of person that needs a lot of protection for the first 3 to 5 years before we can get on our own. So,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Hey, Trent Mo walked in. So we're good.
Hey, Trent. We love you, Trent.
So, the thing is that we need protection as a naked ape for that
That's a
first part of
Desmond
our life.
Morris. That's a Desmond Morris reference, isn't it?
Who's
The
Desmond
Naked Ape.
Morris? I don't know that.
Yeah, I'll show you. Off air, I'll show you. He wrote a book called The Naked Ape.
Well, that's the one. Okay, is that funny? That's one little blind spot that I have in my brain that I don't have any clue really what that was except the title. I came into my house, everybody read
Wow.
it. I thought it was cool, and I just didn't read it.
You know, he's in his 90s and he has a full art day. He's an artist, a zoologist, a scientist, and a writer. I'll
Right.
tell you more about him some other time. Yeah.
Yes, we got to do a show on him.
We got to. We've got to.
That's great. Okay. So now the point I'm getting at is that this is the flip that we're seeing. So that's the point in this. Perfect in 20 minutes, within a half hour. Now Trent's here, and you might be able to tune his guitar. Now we have to do some work in the gallery here. If anybody wants to stay and just watch us completely do nothing for a little while, it'll look like something though. But anyway, got to clean up for the show. There's going to be a Tribal Me meeting this afternoon. We have to be ready for that. So that's just what's going on in this. I believe this is the big picture of what's happening now. It doesn't really matter. Does it matter really what it took to get to where we are now? And of course, the answer is absolutely no. It does not matter what happens to get where you are right now. What matters is what you do next. Right?
Right.
Renee?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Get
And
in
one
here.
thing, well, one thing, okay, but I wanted to say
Make
one thing.
yourself big as me.
I
What?
didn't want to, I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to go back to what you were saying at the beginning, because you and I were watching a video yesterday or the day before about xenophobia and patriotism versus nationalism, because a lot of people right now don't understand the difference.
That's
And
right. See, now
you,
this is where Roy comes in again, because
right,
understanding this whole patriotism is not, well, okay, what is it not? See, what is it to be a good person is not necessarily anything to do with any of those two things. Right?
right,
You don't have to be any of that to be a good person. You got to be a good person first. And then the next logical thing would be to be like, you know, I guess protect your country from from any enemies, external or internal. So it's our duty to simply look at a convicted felon as part of not something we want. And I can't believe it's a plus or minus. It's such a binary choice. It's beyond design. Like, you could not design a more left right polarizing situation. Can you imagine anything more
right. Yeah.
scripted than this whole thing?
It's wild. It's wild and crazy. And the thing
So
is, yeah, keep
yeah.
going.
Well, if it's scripted and it's all like, remember, George Washington was a Mason, right? 33-degree Mason.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that the Masons ever relinquish control of something they would have from the beginning?
Yeah. Good
No.
point.
Okay. Remember that the Masons have free will. Now you're a complete person. You're a 33-degree Mason. Remember when we became Trismegistus? Do you remember when you became Trismegistus?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was July 14th.
Yep. July 14th.
Okay. And on the same
Human
day, you became a
sovereignty.
33-degree Mason. At the same time, you became a 33-degree Mason, and you
Right.
became like as much knowledge as the Pope.
Whoa. Now that's
You might
intense.
know more than the
That's
Pope.
intense.
Oh my God, the Pope is just a joke. Talk to Roy Casagrande about the Pope. The Roman Empire. What the hell that is? It's not what you think it is, and it's not what it says. All right. It's all just a figment of somebody's imagination and the ability to control other people's imaginations. Right? Now,
Right.
let's go back to early Mayan, early Aztec, early all of that thing. You know, the thing about, that I learned through Roy Casagrande is that a society in the Valley of Mexico that we consider to be the great nation of Mexico in the pre-Columbian times was able to sustain a population of 32 million people, mostly vegetarian.
Why were they vegetarian?
Why were they vegetarian? Because they had hunted everything to extinction. Every meat source.
Wow.
By the coastlines, of course, you could get fish and things.
Do you see any connection with where we're going now, where we're heading now with our
No,
treatment
but
of
human
resources?
sacrifice was their way to bring meat protein back to the people. And it was a very ritualized warfare, in not taking anything lightly. But meat was meat, and it was used. All right. That is a true statement. So this was the kind of thing, but 32 million people. And pretty healthy. Pretty fucking healthy. And a lot of really elaborate rituals, and everything was scripted and organized pretty intensely. But there'll be more of that on our next program. as we move forward. So what your job is to go back and do some research for yourself to find out and do some homework with Roy Casagrande, professor at the Austin School. And take us out with that last video.
Oh, we don't want to do Eastman?
Oh, yes.
Let's do Eastman because I
Okay,
think that would be,
okay. Everybody, hold on.
yeah.
Okay, if anybody's watching this right now, you want to set your thing and you want to make sure you get the clip of this. Okay, this and clip this particular one and send it out to everyone you can. Okay, everybody on TikTok, clip this one and send it out there. You're gonna love this. Now.
Dennis Perone and I changed the world. And here we are live at the Green Fest with Richard Eastman, friend of Dennis Perone, co-author, and the author of Proposition 215. I'm just here having a great time at my friend's hemp booth. What's the name of this place?
Young Maven, dude. Young
It's a
Maven.
hemp haven. And here we got a hemp t-shirt. And they're showing love even at the hemp booth down the way. They gave me some hemp seeds to give out to all the people coming to the birthday party for the 17th anniversary of medical marijuana in front of LA City Hall, November 5th, from high noon to 5 p.m. Come celebrate with Dennis Perone and Richard Eastman. 17 years of peace, love, and freeing the weed. Free the weed and end corporate greed. And GMOs suck, and we got to get more hemp the planet, hemp the planet, and come to the Green Festival. Their new location is wonderful. We're live with Richard Eastman, one of the founders of medical marijuana in the United States, here at Green Fest, LA.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can post that. I'm honored to be here. And corporate breed. Come to City Hall November 5th, high noon to 5 p.m. We'll have birthday cake. It won't be medicated. And we're going to give out love. Free the weed and end corporate greed. Free the weed and end corporate greed. And GMOs.
Oh, so much fun. Hey, say hi to Trent, everybody. Okay, we'll see you next time. Keep coming back. That'll go. That'll be good. Okay, cut.